Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Airship City. Airship City has a lot going on, but once you're playing it, it actually makes a lot of sense. So let me run through it. The way to win the game, let's start there, is to build up your points and you'll track them here on the same spaces or tiles or numbers or whatever you want to call this as the round tracker. If you get up to 20 points, there is a token that replaces that and you can put back on one and keep tracking. The other things, once you've got to the end of the game, of extra points are down the bottom. Otherwise, it's all in the game that you will get points. Whoever has most points is the winner. Okay, so let's run through it. How does this game actually work? The essence of the game is with these airships. You're moving those airships around these tiles to enable you to do stuff. So for example, each airship can only move one spot. Say that one moves there. What that now gets is one wood and one metal. So each of those go up one for its movement. The next airship could go here, 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 or because you're not allowed to leave two of your own airships on the same spot, you jump over the spot that your other airship was. So this guy could go to here, or here, or here. And say he goes to there, that would give him two more metal. And it's as simple as that. Every tile within this space does something slightly different. The other benefit that you need to be aware of is on the next player's turn, if this player also went here to get those two things, so they would move their items up, anyone who's already on this space would get their choice of one extra thing. If this guy went to here, this player would get one extra metal, and that player obviously would get the two metal. If this player decides now to go here, that player would get one of each, and each of the other two players who are there would get their choice of metal or wood. And if you went over there, too. So you can see how there's that ability to get extra stuff on other people's turns. You just need to be aware of that when you're placing your things. At any time during my turn, I can spend one of these lot down the bottom. Let's call it the gear. It doesn't actually say what the element is, but it's the element that you will need to do a lot of stuff. So let's call it the gear. So if you remove that down by one, that allows you to move any area of the grid by one and taking the other tile and putting it at the other end. You could go that way, you could go that way. It doesn't really matter what you do, but you get to do that once. So let's run through what each of the things does that you will stop on. You can, by the way, you can just stop there and not do the thing if it's a tile that you're unable to use, but you need to get to something on the other side of it. You are by all means allowed to do that. This one, 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 I think that's it. All do what it says in the little thing, which gives you extra resource for wood or metal or that gear section, depending on what it is. So it's +2 on most of them. One of them has a +1 on each of those two. Anything with this hammer in it is talking about the shipyard, and that allows you to build more airships. With the airships that you're building, you will then need to make a choice of if you are going to actually build the airship and donate it, which would mean if you were to build that, you'd put one there. Whoever has a majority in any of the spots puts a token up in the majority. As soon as someone else builds in there, this player no longer has majority, so he'd have to lose that token. Or if you didn't wish to donate it, you could sell it and take in the finance of where these are. So if this is the type that he built and he sold it, he wouldn't put his token on there anymore. He would take 3 money, which push that forward to 5, and that would reduce by 1. So watch out, each time you sell something, it's going to reduce the value. These are set on the 3 spot because it's a 3-player game. If it's a 4-player game, you get set on the top spot. The way you actually build the ship is the cost is up here. So it costs 4 wood and 2 of the metal. So he'd bring that down to 0 and that to there to do that sale. If he sold it or if he donated it. Now, why would you donate instead of selling? I'm glad you asked. What this allows you to do is in the top of this space here, and each of the ships does something slightly different, but the same kind of concept. So when you're building another airship on a future turn, what this gives you is a discount of 1 wood for each of these tokens that you have in the space. So if this is what it looks like, he would have a token up on the majority. Of course, he has 2 there. The other player only has 1. He would actually have a discount of 3 wood. So it only costs him 1 wood and 2 of the gears to build a ship within the shipyard. Now, for each of these, you must have 2 tokens in this lower grid space, so not including this one, in order to be able to build this type of ship. Then you'll need another 2 here to be able to build this type of ship. And that's the same for each of the 3 different levels. These airships over the side here are not able to be sold, the gold ones. They're not able to be sold. They must be donated, and they give you discount on some other stuff that I'll talk about in a moment. Once you have 3 markers in the donation spaces, so he may have gone to here as well, it says 3 there. It doesn't matter about the majority markers, but he's got 3 in the donation space. That allows him to add that to his board. What that now gets to do is there are 3 different versions of them, so 1 for each type of ship. Once during each stage of the game, he's able to turn this over to do the action. And this one allows him to go an extra spot with his airship. Whenever this gets to the bottom and goes back to the top, we're on to the next stage. So if he's used that through the first stage, he would then turn all of them back over to allow him to use it again during the second stage. Just on this, whenever this round marker gets moved up to the next stage, everyone gets this bonus. So that would be +2 on the gold. And then that gets taken away to show that it's been done. And let's keep moving forward. So that was the shipyard. The workshop allows you to build one of these. Notice the costs involved on each of them. So when you do this one, so let's say this one, it will cost you 7 of that resource, the metal, and 3 of the gold. You would take that off. What this now does is you get 3 victory points. You're allowed to flip over one of the metal buildings. What that means is, let's say, for example, he flips this over. It still gives 1 and 1, so it's the exact same resource, but for anyone who has this card out, they would now, when they action it, get an extra element. And every single card has something different on the back of it that will give you an extra if you've been able to release that area of your board. That also allows him to get up to 20 of that resource rather than just up to 10. Okay, moving forward, shipyard's the same. This one, the market. The market allows him to take one of these cards. What you're doing with those cards is, if he takes this card, it goes under the number 1. When you finish a phase, this must be completed. So as this goes from here to here, that one must have been paid, so 3, he must have paid 3 metal in order to do it there. What that gains him is 1 victory point and 1 gold. So that's another way to push your gold up. If that hasn't been fulfilled by the time the round goes from there to there, this comes into the not fulfilled contracts. If a card goes into the unfulfilled contracts, you lose the victory points just there. So you would lose 1 victory point for that tile going there, as opposed to gaining it for it going up to the top. The fulfillment of that contract isn't a part of the the turns, you can just do that during your turn. It's not like an extra movement or anything like that. If you had taken a number 3, you're looking for 16 out of the wood to get 3 points and 3 gold for it. So he hasn't fulfilled that when the round goes from there to there. That means he now has this phase and next phase to fulfill that with. And anything that had a 2 on it would start there and move down. So it's as you're moving from here to here that you have unfulfilled contracts. The number tells you which spot to start in, and you can have any number of things sitting in each of those contract spots. The harbour is where new ones will come into and the starting position, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a second. The architect's office is talking about constructing these things down the bottom. Once again, you'll notice there's a price which is relatively high for each thing you wish to build. The lighthouse allows you to do that manipulation of the grid, but you get to do it 2 times. So you could do it once to there and I don't know, once to there, for example. And the other one that I haven't dealt with is this one, which is how you get extra airships. You'll notice there's 2 possible extra airships. They cost you 10 money each, so you've really got to get your gold up to the 10 to be able to do this. But when you action it, you'd put a new one onto the harbour and you'd keep going from there. So on your next turn, you'll have 3 guys running around the city to deal with. And that's the basics of the game. I think that is everything that's necessary to help you get Airship City to the table. If you would like to go ahead and watch my gameplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays, that would be great. That would be my next video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.